World War II was the scene of unprecedented technological breakthroughs, and one of the most ambitious undertakings of Nazi Germany was the project known under the code name Wunderwaffe, miracle weapon. The goal of this grandiose undertaking was to create new types of weapons that could turn the tide of the war in favor of the Third Reich. The focus was on innovative missile technology, jet aircraft and experimental combat systems, many of which became the forerunners of modern weapons. One of the key elements of the Wunderwaffe was the V2 ballistic missile, developed by Wernher von Braun and his team in Peenemünde. It was the world's first weapon of its kind, capable of traveling hundreds of kilometers and striking strategic targets with high precision. In September 1944, the V2 was first used against London, causing panic and significant destruction. Despite its destructive power, the rocket was extremely expensive to produce and could not change the overall course of the war due to the scale and limitations of production. Jet aviation played an equally important role in the project. The first serial jet fighter, Me-262, was a real technological breakthrough. The speed and maneuverability of this aircraft significantly exceeded the best Allied models. However, problems with resources, technical training of pilots, and constant Allied air raids on jet engine factories limited the full use of the Me-262. Nevertheless, the aircraft proved the potential of jet technology in military affairs. Guided missiles and bombs were also developed within the framework of the Wunderwaffe. Among the most famous are the anti-ship missile Hs-293 and the cruise missile Phi-103, better known as the V1 or V1. These munitions were the first examples of guided missile weapons in history, capable of delivering pinpoint strikes against enemy targets. The V1 was especially remembered for its characteristic buzzing siren and became a symbol of terror in London and other cities. A mysterious and little-studied page of the project remains the experiments with the so-called flying saucers, prototypes of unusual aerodynamic aircraft, the development of which was carried out in secret laboratories of Germany. Although much information about them remains the subject of controversy and legends, it is known that the Nazis really tried to explore new forms and methods of flight, including disc-shaped structures, capable, according to the developers, of achieving extraordinary speeds and maneuverability. In parallel with these technical projects, active work was carried out on the creation of super-heavy weapons, a new generation of artillery and air defense systems, which were also part of the general concept of the Wunderwaffe. However, constant pressure from the Allies, the destruction of the production base, and the lack of resources seriously limited the possibilities of implementing many ideas. Despite all the difficulties, the legacy of the Wunderwaffe project had a huge impact on the post-war development of military and space technology. Many scientists and engineers, including von Braun, were recruited by the Allies and made significant contributions to space research and rocketry programs, particularly in the USA and the USSR. The Wunderwaffe project remains a symbol of both the technological genius and the madness of a totalitarian regime that invested colossal resources in the creation of weapons of mass destruction without thinking about the humanitarian consequences. It is one of those pages of history that reminds us how science and technology can become an instrument of both progress and destruction.